Reddit, what do you use to remind yourself that everything is not that bad? I remember that Yahoo hasn't given up, so why should I? Reminds me of a saying that I used to repeat to myself occasionally. If Internet Explorer is brave enough to ask to be your default browser, you can be brave enough to ask that girl out. I found this absolutely hilarious, and one time it actually gave me the courage to ask somebody out. Lol. I can die later. The world is going to kill me whether I like it or not, so why not stick around for a few more decades and see what happens? In some ways it's comforting to know I don't have to do this forever and I don't have to kill myself. Curiosity and things to look forward to. Even TV shows, games, movies, or visits from relatives. I always pick something to look forward to. Hopefully this gets past all the award stuff, but one thing that reminds me that everything isn't all bad is that I have people and pets that want me around. I can have an utterly terrible day, come home, and my dog is waiting at the door to greet me. Every day. I'll go lay down, and he'll come cuddle with me. My sister notices the funk, and will make me dinner or a dessert or something to lift my spirits, and I don't have to say a word. I'm close enough with my best friend that he can notice something off about me just by the way I text, and he'll come over to play some video games and talk. Please remember that there are people around you that love you and care for you. When you're having an utterly shit day, there are people that actively want to make it better because they care for you. You may not notice the ways that they do it, but they do. It can be as simple as just asking how your day was. They know, they can tell, or as elaborate as taking you out to unwind and have a fun time to forget and relax. No one is ever alone in this world, even if you feel it. And, if you genuinely feel it, message me. We're only here for a minute. Enjoy it. I had a stroke a couple of weeks ago, only 27 and no health explanation for the event, and while I was in the hospital walking down the hall with my good old buddy Winston, what I named my Ford drip machine pumping me with blood thinner, an older gentleman across the hall saw me and told his nurse I was far too young to be in the ICU. He had a little plastic pumpkin for Halloween and not much else, so he asked the nurse to give it to me. I never found out which patient gave me that pumpkin, but since the stroke, whenever things get stressful I look at it, now sitting on my desk at work, and remember that everything is okay. I plan on keeping my little plastic stroke pumpkin for the rest of my life, however long or short it may be. Almost over, and a new chapter of my life is about to start. My youngest daughter Emma. She is 1.5 years old and just knows how to enjoy every second of life. She wakes with a smile and goes to bed grinning while holding her Winnie the Pooh. She falls while walking and just dusts herself off and keeps going. Every time she hears a motorcycle she says, "Oh," and then vroom vroom while signing motorcycle. My niece is 1.5 years old. Her amazement and being so happy at the simple wonders of the world never fail to amaze me. She came to my home to visit a few odd weeks back, and she is a water baby. I pick her up, run some water in the sink, and put her in the sink. You would have thought I handed her the keys to heaven. She had an absolute blast, splashing around and laughing and giggling at me. It reminds me when times get me down, think on that and it'll guarantee to make me smile. That I am not part of all the horror that is going on in the world. I am not part of all the by their parents abused teenagers. I am not living in an area where there is war, hunger and no education. I have the extreme benefit of living in a good neighborhood, without any criminal activity. In general, I just compare myself to all the people in my age who have it way worse. Then I realize how lucky I am. How good everything really is. Remembering that statistically speaking, we live in the most peaceful and prosperous time in history. The average lifespan is the longest it's ever been, and the world is slowly yet constantly getting better for everyone regardless of situation. It may not always look that way, but on average it is true. Just the fact that dogs exist. They are these animals that are about as perfect as a creature can get. A dog will never cheat on you, it'll never cut you off in traffic and give you the finger, it'll never pass you over for that promotion, It'll never make fun of your weight. Your dog thinks you look fantastic in the outfit that you bought but were kinda nervous to wear because it's not your usual look. Dogs are the best. It's more of a mindset or perspective than anything else. If I'm having a bad day, I try to focus on the good things. It sounds very cliché to type it out, but just thinking of the millions of people that have it worse, some of them suffering death-threatening diseases or difficulties like being blind or crippled, and that despite that, some of them are even happier than I am in the moment. It takes away some of the steam I could be having. I'm also Christian and believe there's a greater purpose, reason for stuff. It does help me. I always think about how I could have been born into bad circumstances. In my life I'm able to make my own choices, I have the freedom to do as I please. I'm able to have a job to provide for myself, and thankfully I have my health. So no matter what I go through, I think about how some people are put into situations they weren't able to control and unfortunately just aren't capable of picking themselves up or simply don't have the support of friends or family. That always helps me keep my head held high and continue. If you do feel horrible and have consistent bad thoughts, please seek help, whether it's through talking with friends, going to therapy, or whatever it takes. You can get through it.